right, guys, welcome to the Nigerian Abroad Show. You know, it's the show where we explore important topics that relate to the Nigerian community in the diaspora. And the main goal is the motherland, Nigeria, the greatness of Nigeria. So I'm your host, Honorable Larry, and in today's episode, I will discuss the crucial and the critical role of Nigerians all over the world in helping Nigeria grow through financial remittances and investment. So let's get started. Number one, we are going to talk about the economic growth. All right. So let me just really go back a little bit and say the reason for this show. It's very essential for Nigerians abroad to try to support the growth of our own country. All right. So we should try the little way. I'm just going to give you seven, strategies or reasons or that I feel it's gonna help the country grow. All right. That's if our leaders are not gonna mess it up. All right. But these are seven reasons I came up with, and I think if we can push those reasons, then definitely we're gonna get a very fantastic result. So let's dive into the seven key reasons why investing in Nigeria is crucial for our collective future. So number one is economic growth. So a lot of people talk about economic growth, economic growth. That's the main thing. Because when we talk about the economic growth aspect of it, we can try as much as possible, you know, investing in the country through little projects, startups, even as you're abroad. Now, the world is even very easy right now. It's globalized. So it's easier for you to even run your businesses from wherever you are. A lot of people are going to say, how come? How is it possible? Yes, I have like quite a number of Airbnbs in Nigeria, and I live in the United States. All right, and I run it. I have cameras. I have an office in Lagos, Nigeria, and I don't even live in Lagos, Nigeria. All right, and I have staffs running, doing the everyday thing. So it's very, very important for you to understand that you can actually invest in the economic growth. Create job opportunities for the youth population because some of our leaders don't really know what they're doing. So we can try as much as possible if you can try to invest, you know, probably businesses and all that. So there are quite a number of things we can invest in. If you really want to know numbers of things you can invest in Nigeria, just let me know. All right, you can just send me a DM and let's talk about it. All right, I have one or two ideas that I've been doing, and I can tell you, even if you have a BNB, like I said, I have a BNB. Like literally, I watch it, and I'm not even in the country. I have a business startup. All right, in Nigeria, and I'm not even in Nigeria. I'm still making money from Nigeria. All right, and I'm creating opportunities. I have quite a number of staff I even employed in Nigeria. All right, I have an organization in New York, and I can tell you that some of our staffs we outsource those jobs to people in Nigeria to do those jobs from home. It's just an opportunity to give to empower the economy of Nigeria. Number two, infrastructural development. So this second reason is key. Yes, I know you've heard about the story that, oh, what if the government demolish this, that. But to be honest with you, there are different states you can actually do your investment. All right. So we can talk about schools. Schools investment is actually a very big investment in Nigeria right now because we don't really have a lot of, public schools. All right. Even in healthcare facilities. I have a friend of mine who set up an hospital in Nigeria. And setting up those organizations are not really it's not as hard as it could seem. All right, setting up facilities and all that. So there are processes to it. I have a consultant that I partnered with in Nigeria that have all this information. So setting up an organization, all right, just make sure you go through the right channel. So as soon as we have infrastructural development key down, trust me, everything is good. So infrastructure development through investment is actually good because Nigeria itself is a I want to use the word virgin land, you know. So there's so much of investment that when you put in your own investment, you're gonna like reap a lot of folds. Trust me, the market is actually good. And as a consultant, I can tell you, like that's why you see why a lot of our youth are Japan. They are running away from the country. Some investors are going in, you know, on taking advantage of those, loopholes and all that. All right. So it's very, very important. Another part is reason why I think you need to invest is technology and innovations. So now let's talk about technological advancement. Nigerian youth has one of the smartest and brightest youth in the world. Like they use, social media. Look at our music industry right now, off the roof. The music industry is like off the roof. Our Nigerians are going there streaming. The technological area needs a lot of improvement. And it's something you can take a look at it and say, okay, how can I invest in this? So if you can foster technological advancement and innovations, especially the one that will place the country in the global stage, trust me, you are off the roof. Nigerians support their own. So it depends on what you're offering to give to Nigeria. So you have to sit down and think, okay, what can I actually offer this country, especially when it comes to technology and innovation? Build a technology center, give people training. You know, just imagine. Okay, let's take a look at the India. All right, India, what they do now is they're exporting technology to the global stage. China is exporting production, manufacture. Most countries understand the need. That's why the naira is going to get stronger if you can actually put our energy into this. All right, put our energy into this. So I'm not talking about the government now. I'm talking about the private sector. All right. So I understand, the government might not be doing this, doing that. So let's reason if it's something, because at the end of the day, if you keep running and say, okay, we're not going to invest in that country, the country is bad, this, for how long? How long? The key is to in the end of the day, we're not going to have a country. So, but for people who still have faith in Nigeria, so this is not directed to people who don't have that faith anymore. It's fine if you don't. You have the right, especially if you have a second citizenship and you feel like, you know what, I'm done with Nigeria. But for people who still have faith in Nigeria, those are the people I'm addressing in this segment. I'm addressing people who still have a little bit of faith that something can happen. All right. So it's very, very important to take note of that. All right. So invest in technological area. Another reason why I think you need to invest, and another sector I'm looking at is, skill development. We can set up skill development program. It's something I'm actually starting up next year. You understand? So this program would actually equip the Nigerian workforce with the necessary tools and knowledge to thrive, especially in this rapid evolving world. So we can have a sustainable growth and even prosperity. The use of technology in our what's the name? Our civil service. Most of our civil service don't. I know in Lagos, Lagos as a state, most of the civil service use it, but Nigeria as a whole sometimes we find out that they are not even using this. These are loopholes that you can think, come up with a drafted idea, collaborate with, permanent secretary or whoever decision maker. You understand? As a business person, you can jump on that. All right. So trust me, it spreads like for wildfire. When you do it and it looks good, I know there's corruption. You can say that there's corruption, but whatever the thing is, just give it a start, a step, a try. So it's very, very important we take note of that. Another area I think would make more sense is the healthcare improvements. All right. That's another part. I talked about infrastructure of the healthcare right now. So now let's talk about investing in healthcare services. Just imagine you invest so much in healthcare services. You have a solar panel, a hospital that you don't have to think about light. You import, whatever the thing is. Just imagine Nigeria. You're talking about 250 million people, right? Look at the West Africa market. Most of them fly to India for healthcare. So just imagine you invest so much in Nigeria, especially when it comes to the healthcare. Just imagine how many people come to the hospital. Just imagine how many lives you're going to change. You understand? Just imagine how many doctors you're going to give a good life to that they don't have to start thinking, how do I jackpot to Saudi Arabia and all that. So all these things they need, they are going to go and do, they're going to do it easily there. All right. So I know a lot of people have been investing in healthcare. All right. So, but we cannot just say, okay, we'll just sit down and keep watching. We can actually take this bold step and say, okay, how can I invest? How can I invest in these healthcare services? You understand? So there are a lot of people who have this money, who are ready to invest, who are ready to even use the hospital. They are ready to come for surgery and all that. All they need is just good facilities. And I'm not saying it's going to be free. You of course there's going to be paid. But guess what? You've changed a lot of people's life. So it's very, very important. We need to see more people reason towards that area to see how can we invest in this industry. Another area is agriculture and food security. This is, why I paused. This is one industry that is very, very important. You know, it is very, very important. Way back then, we always have famine, famine in the land. But in this age and time, culture and food is a national emergency. The government need to get to that point to regulate that industry, to is make sure build incentive. So that's I'm talking about the government part right now. So now let me talk about the individual part. Just imagine. I know, I'm saying this. I'm not just making comments based on reading one books or just giving whatever. I'm saying it in this fact, and I'm drawing out facts that the government need to do something, especially in this agriculture. That's why I'm pausing in this particular part because we need to reduce hunger in the land. If somebody can fill their stomach, then we are good. So I want the government to make sure they make this market or this industry easy to invest in. You know, especially security with, farms, from, you know, um, terrorists trying to, mess up people's farms, cow eating people's farm. So they need to work on that. So then let me talk about the individual. So if you get to a point and say, okay, you want to really invest, look at the agricultural industry. This is one thing. Just imagine agriculture. You are the one supplying the rice for the whole of Nigeria, or just let's say tomatoes. Like you're growing them in Nigeria and you're supplying. This is a big, huge market. So you are reducing hunger. You are even helping the country's self-sufficiency, especially when it comes to meeting nutritional needs. And you're not only supplying Nigeria, you're also supplying other countries neighboring Togo, Benin, and all. You understand? You are building the industry itself. So we need to look at that agricultural. I'm going to do a podcast and I'm going to talk about why we need to invest in that particular industry. I'm going to talk about just agriculture. I consult in the United States, in New York, and some of my clients are, farm landowners. And I can tell you how big that industry is in the United States. So we need people who are ready to invest in agriculture so we can keep that country for those who still trust in the country. So lastly, if you want to invest in Nigeria, you can contribute to achieving the United Nations SDGs, promoting social, economic, and environmental progress that can benefit all Nigerians and future generations to come. So because we don't want to think about ours alone, we're talking about the future to come. So to round it up, we need to understand, especially as Nigerians abroad, we need to know that our financial remittances and investments have the power to make a significant impact in Nigerian development and growth. So we need to continue to support our homeland and work together towards building a brighter future for all Nigerians, even abroad, at home. All right, guys. So if you feel like you want to invest in Nigeria, you're interested in investing in Nigeria, I have one or two consultants that I've tried and worked with at some point. So let's discuss about that. And together we can make a greater Nigeria. So thank you for tuning into the Nigerians Abroad show. So stay tuned for next episode as we dive into more engaging topics. All right. Have a nice day, guys.